What is going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. We're going to be checking out the new Cave Troll of Moria by Prime One Studios. This bad boy is going out for pre-order August 21st. So we're looking at it August 20th. He stands at 91 centimeters. So that is close to 3 feet in terms of height. And we do have like all the dimensions on here. Because obviously dimensions plays a huge role. So 91 tall, so that's actually the shortest of the dimensions. 93 wide, so a little over 3 feet. However, I believe that's due to this arm. It looks like it's sticking out. So I don't believe the actual base is 36 inches in terms of width. However, the beast, 110 centimeters. Like Jupiter's fucking cock. 43, almost 44 inches deep. Like, no garage shelves are that deep. My deepest garage shelf is 24 inches, and then when it goes to the wall, it's 25 inches. If I include the window well in that other room, let me see exactly how much space I have. Alrighty, so I just checked. I have exactly 3 feet from the back of my window well to the front of my garage shelf where I have shockwave. So it would technically stick out like 6 inches, which isn't actually too bad. Like, I could endure 6 inches. Like, that's like my Khaleesi sticking out, plus it's in the middle of the room, not a walkway. So I think that would be the best choice. The other option, obviously, if I want to, display this in that room, is to do it where I have Sauron, but you honestly would just want to get another shelf in front of it. This is a piece that basically you want to have like 2 garage shelves, like a 24-inch and an 18-inch, in order to properly display it and not have it hanging off too much, because this looks like a separate base, like 2 bases. And if it was one whole base, it'd be easier, but if it's separate, you need to have this on a shelf. Like, you can have it poke off a little bit. Like, I'm probably going to have it like that part right there. That is going to stick off the shelf for me. The core weight right here will be fine. But definitely something to consider, because I think the space is going to be everyone's concern. Now, when it comes to price and ES, I'm very happy with that. $3,000, 300 ES. That's fantastic. I was expecting it to be much more expensive. However, the kicker, 5 boxes. That means this is going to cost $1,000 to ship. I mean, Godzilla vs. Kong was like $1,200 to ship. Although, that's Godzilla vs. Kong, the freaking orc is bigger. Look at these box sizes, like 99 centimeters. That's enormous. It probably weighs a ton. Although the size is what matters, not necessarily the weight. So these are, I mean, this is by 4131. So still, I think it's going to cost at least $1,000 to $1,200 to ship this. So at the end of the day, you're really looking at, $4,000 plus to get this bad boy, which I definitely think it's worth that. Like, I don't think it, like, I was willing to pay a lot more, but it definitely is going to cost a lot to ship. And I think to resell any type of statue that has 5 boxes is extremely difficult, plus you lose so much money in shipping. I remember when I sold my Prime 1 Predator, which was 3 boxes, it cost like $900 to ship that thing. So you have to consider, anytime you buy a statue, consider resale value. Honestly, for me like this, I would probably just throw away the boxes. Like, this is not a piece I would ever want to resell. Now, we have had one custom 1/4 cave troll in the past, and then of course Weta Iron Studios have made their iterations. Yeah, it definitely looks like this is a separate base right here. But this one is easily, by far and away, the best cave troll ever created. Of course, we're getting all these side angles. I like the fact they have like giant like bricks on him, like he just smashed through the door, and he looks like he in essence almost smashed that like grave where that dwarf was. That's why there's rocks flying everywhere. Portrait looks amazing. Honestly, that kind of looks like glass eyes to me. Like, that looks like glass eyes. The teeth and The glistening look phenomenal. The skin texture's freaking awesome. The orcs also look great. I am curious like how big these are. They should be at least like 16, 17 inches tall. They both look great though. And one of them has a swap out portrait as part of the bonus version. Considering they have somewhat similar faces, I would display the bonus version. Yeah, that looks really good. I like that. Even the orcs look phenomenal. Like, that looks really good. I like that. The armor looks great. Looks like real armor. Yeah, so let's see. You got that one and then that one. I mean, they're very similar. I like them both. I might like this one slightly more, which is great because this is the one that has the extra head. And of course, you know, one has a sword and a shield, another just has like the sword. So yeah, there is the bonus part. So it gets the masked head. That's the same as my sideshow statue. I actually mostly display the armored head. I just think it looks cooler. So I'd probably start displaying my sideshow back with the original head if I'm displaying this one with the armored head. Not that I'm displaying them together by any means. But yeah, that's kind of how it looks with the bonus part, which, yeah, that looks really cool. And it looks great either way, honestly. So there you have the full look. Yeah, that helmet looks great. Yeah, overall looks amazing. I love the Easter egg here on the base, the dwarf holding the book. This is where, I believe it was Pippin that dropped, what was it, the rock, a book, or something in there that made the cave trolls come to them. That, like, well. So yeah, overall, I freaking love this. I think it's so freaking cool. Tons going on. You can see him smashing into the ground, destroying it. There's skulls. There's weapons. Let's see. I know one of these photos right here. There's a bunch of dwarf axes, helmets. Really, really freaking cool. Yeah, so now in terms of like scaling, is this proper scale? Now, obviously he's leaning forward, smashing down. He's not standing to his true height, but let me check real quick. So according to AI, the Fellowship Cave Troll was about between 11 and 19 feet tall. So let's say it's on the shorter end of 11 feet. You do 11 times 12, 12 inches. That's 132. Divide by 4, this being fourth scale. It should be a minimum 33 inches tall. Now, considering this is bent over, we're definitely going to assume that this is not the 11 feet, but, it's probably more in between. So I would say in general, the scaling is correct. And I know in general, these orcs are like between 4 and 5 feet tall. Like, they're not very big at all in the movie. They're almost like just, a little bit taller than hobbits, really. So I would say the scaling is correct. I would say with this piece, there's only 2 complaints. The depth and how many boxes it is. Not much you can do about the boxes, but it just sucks that you're going to have to pay thousands in shipping. Whether it's buying or reselling, you're going to be spending a lot. 300 ES is kind of low. It's kind of uncertain if this will like sell out. Simply because the display space, who has 4 inches in depth? That is insanely hard to display. I love the concept and the overall look, although I wish Prime 1 would have given us another option that wasn't quite as deep. One maybe without the orcs, and you could have like... I love the pose. I think it's really cool. And obviously, this is to the very front of the base, so that is one big reason the depth is so hard, is because of that. In addition, his arm is flowing back into the side. So it'd be difficult, like, even if you didn't have this base, I'm sure you need this base to hold the weight of that giant mallet he's carrying. So I just don't know if there is a way you could even do that. Like, let's say you didn't display space, that mallet might lean it forward, break off. I'm sure it's quite heavy. Usually Prime 1 likes to do metal weapons, which I do much prefer. So, Yeah, it's a tough one, but conceptually, I freaking love it. It's just hard to display. Yeah, so in terms of me displaying Cave Troll in here, there's really two options. One would be right here, where I do have 3 feet to the back of that wall, so it would poke out to about right here, similar to that Khaleesi, not bad at all. If we displayed it right here, this is only 25 inches depth. We would need basically one of these shelves displayed completely in front. Which, I mean, obviously I would not like that. In addition, you have his arm there. I mean, technically it would fit. It wouldn't hit the arm. It could potentially hit that. I mean, I could remove that. But to do another shelf there, I feel like that would just look ugly. The only nice thing, if you did do it right there, I mean, you'd probably want to pull these statues forward and honestly just do the orcs behind them. I ideally really want all my quarter scales together. I don't like scattering them. You know, like that Gandalf is also very deep. Same with Sauron. So to like move them is also quite difficult. I feel like the best thing to do is to do Cave Troll right here. So you'd probably just want to have him right next to Megatron right here. And because he's only 3 feet wide, you can fit another statue next to it. Like I could easily fit Frodo, which I'd much prefer Frodo top shelf. So if you did like Cave Troll, Frodo, Treebeard, and Sam, all top shelf, or Boromir, like it kind of depends. We need to see what the future Lord of the Rings statues are. But based off what we know 100% is coming, Treebeard, Frodo, Cave Troll. And then obviously I also have Boromir. Which actually Boromir, I just paid for him. So mine will be shipping here very soon. And we should have it next month. So I'm very excited to get Boromir. I did see one person already get it somehow. Not sure how they got it before me. But they did get it. But yeah, Boromir is shipping. Cave Troll's up for PO. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to pre-order the Cave Troll right now. I mean, it's going to be a $300 down payment. Shipping cost through Prime 1 is going to be such a nightmare. I may consider using Spec Fiction, who will do a shipped price, and it will definitely be probably $500 cheaper. So I may consider Spec Fiction for this. Another alternative could be Kyoland. I saw they did the recent, what statue was that? Another Prime 1 statue. It went up for pre-order, and through Spec Fiction versus Kyoland was $300 cheaper. Both shipped price. So Kyoland might be the way to go, considering that. So yeah, for me, the only way to display it is going to be here, meaning we have to move all of this over here, and Monsterverse has to go upstairs. If we get the Cave Troll. If we pass, the only thing we're going to be adding is Saruman, where Khaleesi bust is, and we'd have to really sell the remaining Game of Thrones quarter scale and put more statues here. I mean, Cave Troll, theoretically, like I said, it could go there, but you just got to do another shelf in front, which I am not happy doing that. Unfortunately, Cave Troll will not fit here in the closet. There's only 33 inches from there to there. Although, we know the base is not 3 feet wide. If you saw, it was the hammer that stuck out in the back. So the hammer could technically go back there. And if the base fit in 33 inches, maybe I'll ask John, like, hey, what's the base dimension? Now, that's 25 inches right now to Khaleesi. Obviously, you have all this extra space, and I could bring the shelf forward. But I theoretically might be able to fit Cave Troll here. But then that poses the question of where do you now put Saruman? Which, again, is also 2 feet wide deep. Well, he's 30 inches wide, 2 feet deep. So he's also a difficult one to display. So I still think my best option, honestly, is going to be just right here. So Lord of the Rings is kind of going to go like this. You could move Cave Troll and Fell Beast underneath, and also have space there for quarter scale Lord of the Rings. And then you would free up that closet. Well, I mean, you could still technically keep this. Well, if you move these two, I would probably just turn this all into busts. Move him there, Lurtz bust, Saruman bust. And then keep Game of Thrones down low. I think that would work best. So this all is dependent, of course, upon moving this upstairs, but we also need to have space for Wolf, Predator, and Alien Romulus. So I'll have to do a separate video on how we will do that. But to get Cave Troll, you got to move Monsterverse upstairs. That's the only way I feel like we can do it. So I'm going to, have to figure that out. Anyways, folks, let me know what you guys think of Cave Troll. Any of you guys going to be picking this up? 300 ES. I mean, that's still a lot for a $4,000 statue. So I don't think it's going to sell out instantly. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, I'm like 99.9% confident I'm going to be buying it. I just need to figure out how we get Monsterverse upstairs along with everything else I want. And then we'll kind of figure it out from there. Anyways, folks, see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.